Hello, it's good to see you. Today we are going to be making a St. Patrick's Day wreath. I think we did one last year, so we're going to do another one this year. And it just so happens that most of the supplies that I have for making this wreath came from Dollar Tree. I was in there the other day and they had just put out some St. Patrick's Day crafting supplies. They had mesh, they had ribbon, and other decorative items. So I went ahead and picked up some stuff, and so I'm going to show you now what we're going to use to make this fun little St. Patrick's Day wreath. I'm going to start with the mesh because they had some super cool St. Patrick's Day themed mesh this year. There are 3 different types. And this first one you can see it's just alternating green and white stripes. The green actually has a little bit of a shiny metallic that runs throughout. And this is 3 yards of mesh and it's 6 inches wide. So this is the first one. And we have the little paper on here that tells you it's St. Patrick's Day decorative mesh. So we're going to have some of this mesh in here. Now in the past I have said it takes about 6 rolls of this Dollar Tree mesh to make one of these wreaths. But honestly I have found just in the last year or so that their mesh has become a lot thinner. So it takes more. Now it takes more like 7 or 8 rolls to do it. I bought extra. I bought a bunch of this to make sure we had enough. So I have 2 of these right here, the green and white stripes. I really like this one. I think this is my favorite. And then we have this one where it's like the colors just gradually fade down. You have this dark green up here and then it just kind of fades to a lighter green down here. I really like that. That's cool. So this is another version of their St. Patrick's Day mesh. You can see the little paper right here. And it's not actually attached to the mesh. It's just sitting in there. So when you remove the cellophane, it just falls away from the mesh. So we have this one. I bought a couple of those, 2 or 3 of those. And then I have, I think, this one has a tail. I think I have 3 of this one. This is the 3rd type of mesh that they had available. Now this one has a lot going on. You have white, light green, dark green, and then it just repeats. And in between the little rows of color, you have silver. It's like a silver metallic running throughout. Now these are all 9 feet long, 6 inches wide. And I've noticed too that their mesh, you see a lot more of this kind of thing, like tails that you have to cut off. But yeah, I think the mesh has gone down in quality a bit, but it's still pretty. You just have to keep in mind when you're buying it, if you're used to buying a certain amount, you may want to pick up a couple extra to fill in because it doesn't seem to fill in as well as it used to. So it's just something to keep in mind. So that's the 3rd one. And then finally, I have this sort of a gold colored mesh. This is left over from another wreath that I did. It might have been a Christmas wreath or something, but it's not like a bright yellow. It's not a shocking neon yellow. It's just a nice gold color. You can see it here. Now this mesh came from Michael's, so this mesh is going to be firmer. It's a better quality mesh. So I thought I would incorporate a little bit of this gold into the wreath as well. So that's our mesh. And they also had some pretty ribbon. Now in this wreath, I'm only going to use 1 thinner ribbon. I have this 5/8 inch ribbon that came from Dollar Tree. It has, you can't really see it, it's very subtle. But there's a pattern on it. It almost looks like a honeycomb pattern. But I really got it for the color. I liked the color. Now it's not the exact same color as this mesh, but it's really close. And it's just a nice gold color. This is a 3-yard spool of ribbon. So this is the only skinny ribbon I'm using in this wreath. Now I do have 4 types of wider ribbon. And these came from Dollar Tree also. These are wired ribbons, but it doesn't really matter in this wreath. You don't have to use wired ribbon because we're not making bows with it or anything that has to keep a shape. This one is pretty, has a white background, and it says Happy St. Patrick's Day. And we have these little shamrocks that have green glitter on them. This ribbon is 2.5 inches wide, and it's 3 yards of this. So we have this pretty ribbon here. And then I found this one that has black stripes and little green dots and green glitter shamrocks, and it has a green wire rim edge around it. It's very pretty. I don't think I've ever seen this type of stuff at Dollar Tree before, this kind of ribbon. Now this ribbon, same thing. They're all the same width and length, 2.5 inches wide by 3 yards long. Now this ribbon has kind of a burlap looking background to it, and these pretty shamrocks. They're not glitter shamrocks. They're a little bit more plain. I think this is actually my favorite. I like this one. It's really pretty. And it also has that green wire edge to it as well. It's really pretty. And then the fourth and final ribbon I have is this pretty green plaid. And you can see that they all have the St. Patrick's Day little logo on the roll itself. This is a pretty one too. This is also a wired ribbon. I love the shades of green in this one. So pretty. So that is all the ribbon that we're going to have in here. And for decorations, I don't have a bunch of fancy stuff, but I got these little shamrocks. Look, this is part of Dollar Tree's decorative stuff for St. Patrick's Day. We have these little shamrocks, and they are lightly dusted with a bit of glitter, just a little bit of gold glitter, just a little bit. So we can take these, and when I do, this is a wire coated in plastic. I would just cut these off and hot glue these down into the wreath wherever I decide to put them. I just got one little stem of these little shamrocks here. Very cute. And I also have shamrock picks, and these are little styrofoam shamrocks coated in green glitter. And again, I'm just going to cut that stick down so I can just hot glue it down into the wreath. I don't need that long stick. So we're going to glue some little glittery shamrocks in there. And then I also have these little coins. These are from Dollar Tree as well. These little gold coins. So we have 30 of these little plastic coins. I seriously doubt I would put them all in there. But I thought I would just take a few of these and just kind of hot glue these down in there. It has a little 4-leaf clover on the front, and on the back it says 4-leaf clover for good luck. So we can put some of these little shiny coins in there. And then I couldn't really find anything I wanted to use for a centerpiece, like something to kind of go in the middle of the wreath. I don't always put something in the middle. In fact, most of the time I don't. But I saw these glasses at Dollar Tree, and I thought it would be fun to put these. I'm going to try to incorporate these silly little glasses into the middle of the wreath somehow and make this like the center of the wreath. I guess mainly focusing on the sparkly hat. I don't know. I'm just going to try to find a way to like put this in the middle of the wreath. I thought it was cute, these little glasses. They have green glitter and then black glitter down here, and these really pretty gold colored little plastic rhinestone pieces. They are very cute little glasses. They had several styles, but I really liked this pair the best. So I'm going to see about making this my centerpiece in my wreath. And then I always like to use pipe cleaners that match the colors in the wreath if possible. I found in my craft stash this packet of green fuzzy sticks. And you can get these at Walmart. A pack like this it's less than $1 for this many. And we're going to actually be cutting these in half. So each bundle that we prepare for the wreath is going to take 1/2 of one of these little pipe cleaners. And if I don't have enough, I think I have some more green ones up in my stash that I can grab. I'm thinking actually I'm probably going to need more than this because this is only going to make 50 bundles. Typically with this type of project, I'm finding, especially with the thinner mesh, it takes more bundles. Or I could just add more pieces of mesh to each bundle to make it a little bit bigger, which might be what I do. So I don't have to use as many of these pipe cleaners. They're also called Chenille Stems or fuzzy sticks, as it says up here. And they have larger packs of these at Walmart as well. You can get packs of multiple colors. You can get packs of solid colors. It really just depends on what they have in stock. Sometimes their stock runs kind of low. So when I go into Walmart, I try to look and grab some when they have it. So I thought these dark green ones would go really well with this wreath. And like normal, we're using our 14-inch wreath ring. This is also from Dollar Tree. Little wreath ring right here. So now this may not look like it's going to be very big, but when we get done, the actual wreath itself is going to come out beyond the size of this form. So the actual wreath itself is going to look larger than this. Now for this wreath, we are going to use the roll technique. My favorite is the starburst technique, which is a little different. But I just feel that the roll technique would be a really good one for this one. And I'm going to show you how to do that. Now, if you have a lot of practice in rolling things up, you might find this to be very easy. It is very easy. If you haven't rolled a lot of things in your life, you can still totally do it. It's nothing to it. So let's go ahead and get our supplies ready and get started making bundles. Okay, I have cut my ribbon. Now for the roll technique, you can cut your pieces of ribbon approximately anywhere from 7 to 9 inches long. It really just depends on how much ribbon you want sticking out of the bundle. And I'll show you when we make the bundles how far the ribbon's going to kind of stick out. Okay, so first I want to show you how I made the ribbon look fancy. So you see how I have this little finished end here? That's called dovetailing. And it's really easy to do. And I also did it with my wider ribbon. So it takes a little extra time to do this to all the pieces of ribbon, but I find it makes it look really nice. It just gives it that nice little extra special look. I'm going to show you how to do it. It's really easy. And we will start with I have just a piece of this 5/8 inch ribbon. Now the thinner the ribbon, the harder it is. I mean, it gets a little bit more difficult to do because what you do, the first step of this process is that you fold it in half lengthwise. You don't have to crease it or anything. You want to just fold it in half. So right here is the fold, and then you have the two sides coming together here, right there. And I have these little snips from Fiskars, Fiskars, and these are great for working with the little skinny ribbon. It's super fast. They have a little spring in them. Just be careful because the end is very pointy. You can hurt yourself. So you have your piece of ribbon folded lengthwise, and here's the fold. So I'm just going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut that corner off right there. And look at that. You have a little dovetail. You'll end up with a lot of little pieces. I like to keep a trash can handy just to put all the little pieces in. So again, you fold it in half lengthwise. Just hold it together. Just pinch it between your thumb and your forefinger like that. And then again, here's the fold, and we're just going to cut that corner just like that. Very easy to do, and now it looks lovely. So you can also do that with the larger pieces. And for larger pieces, you can still use these, but I prefer to just use regular scissors. Okay. So we have a piece of ribbon here. And you're just going to fold it in half lengthwise like this. put it together like that. And then you're going to take your scissors again, and here's the fold. Just make sure you have it lined up. And you're just going to cut an angle right across here. And you just cut right through that wire, and look at that. Very nice. You can do the other side too. Fold it in half lengthwise. And cut that corner. And there it is. So you can do this with any kind of ribbon you want to. But yeah, if it's super skinny, it may be hard to do. And the wire is very easy. You can just cut right through it. There's nothing to it. And again, we're just going to cut that corner. Look at that. Nice. So we have our ribbon prepared. And now I'm going to show you the mesh. I have cut up my mesh into approximately 9-inch pieces. I cut it one piece at a time. I just have my own technique for doing it. I just stretch it over my leg a little bit and then cut. I don't measure it or anything. What some people do, they'll take a piece of cardboard or something and reinforce it with duct tape and measure it to be however long they want it, 9 inches or, whatever length they want their mesh to be. And then you can just wrap your roll around it and just cut 2 times. So yeah, that's one way you can do it. And then, so you just have the 2 cuts, and then you'll have all your pieces the exact same length. I find it doesn't really matter if they're not all exactly the same length. And when the wreath is done, you're not going to be able to tell. So you do it in whatever way works for you. If it works for you, that's the right way to do it. All right, so I have cut up my pieces of mesh. They're all basically the same length. Now for the roll technique, it's a little different. When we do the starburst technique, we would take our mesh and grab these little opposite corners here and pull them like that, and then roll it together like this. And they would go into the bundle like that. But that is not what we're doing today. We are doing the roll technique. And you see that the mesh already kind of it has a natural way that it wants to go. So you're actually just going to take the mesh and roll it the way it wants to go. You're just going to make a little roll out of it. It does not have to be perfect. It doesn't matter. So you roll it like this. So you have this little wonky looking roll. Now, just like with the starburst technique, I hold these between my fingers here. You can use a chip clip or a clothespin or whatever you want to hold your pieces while you roll the others, because we have to roll more for the bundle. I think I'm going to try 3 pieces of mesh per bundle and just see what that looks like. So there's one piece of mesh. Here's another one. I'm trying to pick the different colors, although it doesn't really show. It's not super obvious right now. This is the one that gradually fades. It's like an ombre mesh. This is my favorite. So again, you're just going to roll it together, and it doesn't have to be super tight. Put it on top of this one. Hold it like that. Okay, and then you get another piece of mesh here. This one is very stringy for some reason. I don't know what happened there. Sometimes you get a roll of mesh that's just really ornery, and it's just wild, and you have to really work with it to get it to work right. So yeah, again, we're just gonna roll it. And this is the Dollar Tree mesh. So it's a little bit more flimsy than mesh like you'd get at Michael's or somewhere like that. Okay. So we have our 3 pieces here, and it looks kind of chaotic and ridiculous right now, but that's all right. So on top of that, you're going to put a piece of a thick piece of ribbon, the wide piece, and one of the skinny pieces on top of that. Now, I have my pipe cleaners here. I've cut some in half. So what you're going to do, you're going to take a half of one of the pipe cleaners, lay it across the top. I'm still holding everything. Lay it across the top, perpendicular to everything. Then you're going to fold it under. You're going to fold this whole wad of stuff in half. Hang on to it. You're not going to hurt it. And then twist your pipe cleaner at least 3 times under. This is like the underside, and then you can let it go. Fluff it out a little bit. And you're going to end up with these little strings of stuff from your mesh. Again, that's why it's good to have a trash can nearby to put these little pieces in. Okay. So there's our first little bundle, and we're going to need, I would say, at least 50 of these bundles to make one wreath. Okay, so there's one. Let's do another one. So I have your piece of mesh here. And again, you see how it already wants to roll together. You're just going to go with that tendency and just roll it this way. So there's one. And we take another piece. Still holding this one. Or you can use a clip to hold it if you don't want to hold it like this, because sometimes it does kind of get in the way. But the more you do this, the easier it gets, and you'll find that you can practically do this in your sleep after a while. I've made a lot of these. So you take this one, put it on top, and you're still holding on, because if you let it go, it's gonna lose its tight roll like that. And a third piece. And again, I'm trying to use one of each of the types of St. Patrick's Day mesh. I haven't forgotten the gold mesh. I'm going to show you what we're going to do with that in a minute. So again, we have the 3 pieces here. Take a piece of ribbon. Actually, for the roll method, you could probably cut this ribbon even shorter. You could probably do like 5 to 6 inch pieces. I always forget that the rolled bundles are a little bit smaller. So again, and you don't have to use a lot of ribbon if you don't want to. It's totally up to you. That's the fun part about it, is that you can do this any way you want to. You can use a whole bunch of ribbon. You can use just a little or none. You don't have to use it at all. Or if you want to make a wreath just out of ribbon, you could even do that. There's no wrong way to do it. As long as you're happy with it, that's all that matters. So again, we have our half of a pipe cleaner. We're going to put it across the top perpendicularly. Take everything, fold it in half. Hold on to it. Twist it 1, 2, 3, at least 3 times to let it go. And then you can open it up like that. So there we have our second little bundle of mesh and ribbon, and see, you have these little string pieces. All right, let's do one more of these, and then I'm going to show you how I'm going to do the gold mesh. I decided this while I was cutting my mesh. I was originally just going to work in the gold mesh into these bundles, and then I thought, no, let's actually do it a little different. So again, you take your mesh and you just roll it. It's harder with this flimsy mesh because it kind of wants to do its own thing, but this piece is actually a little bit more firm, but this is still Dollar Tree mesh. You're just rolling it up like that. Oops. Put it on top. This mesh catches everything. Okay, and one more. We're just going to roll it together like that. Put it on top. Pull the little strings off of it. Okay. And we're going to take, let's do this piece of ribbon here over the top, and a piece of this thinner ribbon. Still holding on to everything. I lay my pipe cleaner across the top, perpendicular to everything in the bundle. Fold the bundle in half. Squeeze it together on the underside. And we're going to twist it 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then let it go. There. Alright, now it doesn't look like much now, but trust me, it's going to look really good when we get it on the wreath form. Okay. Now for the gold colored mesh, I'm going to do the gold colored mesh in a bundle all by itself. And I'm not going to add any ribbon or anything to it. Let's see how it looks if we take 3 pieces of this mesh. See, it even sounds different when you roll it up. This mesh is definitely thicker. It rolls up better too. Look at that. So there's 1 piece. Here's another one. And yeah, we're not going to add any ribbon or anything to it. I want just the gold to stand out with nothing else in the bundle. There's 2. Wow, that's thick. And a 3rd piece. Okay. So again, we're just going to take our pipe cleaner, put it across the top perpendicularly, fold these pieces in half, and twist it 1, 2, 3, and let it go. So we're going to have little bundles of rolled gold mesh, rolled gold like the pretzels, rolled gold mesh like this right here. I'm not sure yet how many of these I want to put in there. I don't want to put too many in there. I want to sort of place them here and there in the mesh. So you're going to have these little bundles of gold in there. Now I'm going to show you how you attach these bundles to the wreath form. Okay, here we have our wreath form. Now there's a front and a back to this wreath form. And you will know when you pick it up. If you pick one of these up, you'll notice that one side of the wreath form is concave. It goes like that. And the other side is convex, like it goes out like this. See, like that? The part that is convex, like this, is the front. And the back side that's concave, that goes like this, that's the back. Now we're mainly going to be working with the back as we attach these bundles, because it's back here that you're going to attach them. So you see we have these 4 wires. This wreath form is made up of 4 wires. We're not going to do anything with the outer wire or the outermost wire or the innermost. We're not going to attach anything to those. We're only going to be attaching our bundles to the 2 in the middle. So it's like each bundle is going to kind of straddle these 2 wires, but don't worry because these here will not show. The bundles are going to stick out far enough to cover up these 2 wires so they won't show. So I take one of my bundles here, and remember we have these 2 ends of the pipe cleaners. This is the part that you're going to use to attach it to the wreath form. So you don't need any hot glue or anything to attach these. It's very simple. So you take your bundle, and again this is the back side where the wires, the little ends of the pipe cleaners stick up. And again we're looking at the back side of the wreath right now. This is the back. So you take the 2 ends of the pipe cleaners and you just straddle them between these 2 little wires here. And you're going to just twist them together and just keep twisting and twisting. Twist them together. And then it's going to stick up. It's going to be pointy. I just like to take it and tuck it under a little bit so it's not sticking out. Just like that. Then we're going to attach another bundle right beside that one. And again, you take the 2 ends of the pipe cleaner and you straddle the 2 wires here. Just like that. You twist them together and just keep twisting and twisting. This is going to secure the bundle on the form. And the ends of the pipe cleaners stick up and are kind of pokey, so I just sort of tuck them under a little bit. And as you go, you're going to find little strings from your mesh. I just pull them off as I go. And we have a 3rd bundle here that we're going to attach. And you can slide these around however you want to. So again, you're going to take the two ends of your pipe cleaner and straddle the two wires, and you twist the two ends together and just keep twisting and tuck them under. Now let's put that gold bundle right here. Sort of, we have these two in this one. Let's just put it right there. We're going to nestle that gold bundle right here. And again, you twist those two ends of the pipe cleaner together and keep twisting. Tuck them under. Now let's flip it over and see how this looks. There we go. And you can kind of arrange your ribbons and fold them out, and you know, you can either do this now or after you've added all the bundles and then just, you know, fluff them out all at once. It doesn't matter. You can do it either way you want to. Okay, so there we have our gold bundle here. And we have these pieces. So this is what it's going to look like all the way around. You're going to have primarily these green pieces of mesh with the ribbon and stuff. I may do some bundles of this without ribbon. I'm kind of feeling like I might have a little bit too much ribbon. Might be a little bit of overkill. And then the golden bundles. So I'm going to keep making bundles and adding them to the wreath form. And then we'll come back and look at it once they've all been added before we add the decorations. Okay, I have all of the bundles made. I've added them all to the wreath form, and look how it turned out. Now I did add in some dark green. I was going along making the bundles and adding them, and I just felt it was too light, like the color was a little bit too light. So I happen to have this dark green mesh from Michaels, and so I just went ahead and did some bundles of just the dark green and just kind of mixed it in there a little bit. I think it made it look really good. I really like the darker green, and then you have the little bundles of the gold mesh too. And I cut way back on the ribbons on this wreath. I didn't use anywhere near as many ribbons as I normally do. I just kind of felt like going a little bit light on it. So yeah, here's how it looks. Here it is on the back. You can see all of the green pipe cleaner pieces going around there. Yeah, so now we're going to add our decorations to it. We have our little glitter styrofoam little shamrocks here. Here are little coins. We're going to glue some little coins in here. For the glitter shamrocks, like I mentioned, I'm just going to cut it off here. This is just a little wooden dowel. I'm going to cut that and then just glue them in wherever it looks like it needs one. And then I have these little shamrocks too, which I'm going to cut these off and then glue these in wherever they're needed on here. And then for the centerpiece, I'm going to see about adding my little, they're not sunglasses, there's no lens. So I'm going to see about adding this into the middle of it. So I think these are going to look really cute. I'm just going to maybe just sort of nestle them in there like that. I don't know. We'll see how it turns out. So yeah, let's go decorate it. Then we'll see how it looks. I have now added all of the decorations to the wreath. Oh wow, I was able to attach the glasses. I just took off the side pieces here, the ear pieces, and I just hot glued it on there. It was very easy. I didn't notice this before, but some of these little clover or the shamrock pieces here have glitter right in the middle, like the middle is extra sparkly on a few of them. So I attached all of the green glitter styrofoam shamrocks. I have a bunch of coins in here, but they're all nestled, like you have to kind of look for them. There's one peeking out there. There's one there. I just kind of tucked them down into the bundles. And we have our little bits of shamrocks here. I think it turned out really cute. So yeah, that was a lot of fun, and most of it was Dollar Tree stuff, except I did use the gold mesh and the dark green mesh from Michael's. The rest of it I think was Dollar Tree stuff. So that was a lot of fun to do. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed getting to see this little St. Patrick's Day wreath today, and I hope that you have a wonderful day, and I'll see you again soon.